Now, let's go to another ceremony taking place in Jerusalem. Our Pierre Clochendler is there, again, commemorating the Russian victory over the Nazis back in 1945, a much smaller event than the main one happening in Moscow, but still an important event over the years. What can you tell us about what's going on there, Pierre?
Well, you can see behind me singers singing patriotic songs, rehearsing actually, because the start of the ceremony will be in about half an hour. But I think that this ceremony is also taking the brunt of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, in the sense that it's going to be much more low-key than in previous year, because this day, Victory Day, the May 9th, is an official commemoration inside Israel, simply because there's about still 47,000 living veterans of the Second World War from the former Soviet Union. So it's an important day. At the same time, no dignitary has been invited here in order to avoid the kind of spat that we've seen in different events between people who identified with the plight of Ukraine and those who identify with the Russian Federation. So no dignitaries, and at the same time at 11 a.m. in a park in Jerusalem, the Russian Federation ambassador to Israel will be laying a wreath in this park in memory of the siege of Leningrad, the former St. Petersburg, and that will be a separate ceremony only with the Russian ambassador, with no Israeli dignitary. Across the country, in cities inside Israel where there's a big former Soviet Union community, there are going to be some ceremonies, but no parade. Also, in order not to evoke this battle of two narratives between the Russian Federation and Ukraine today, who are trying to appropriate somehow the lessons of World War II on their war efforts. Alec?
Well, we're definitely seeing how this narrative is playing out on both sides, because Russia has claimed that they're trying to denazify Ukraine. That's part of the claimed rationale for this operation. On the other hand, we're also hearing from the Ukrainians, from President Volodymyr Zelensky, saying that the Russians are committing atrocities like the Nazis did.
Absolutely. Volodymyr Zelensky yesterday spoke of genocide. He's speaking of genocide, although this has not been actually verified by proper institutions. But there are definitely signs of war crimes inside Ukraine perpetrated by the Russian forces. Now, yes, there is this battle of narrative which is also tainting those ceremonies inside Israel, because in Israel you also have veterans who will identify with the Russian Federation and others who will identify with Ukraine as it is in the throes of this terrible war on its territory. So in order to avoid that, there's been an attempt to not bring up the burning issues and start to restrict themselves into the ceremonies of World War II, and nothing more than that. But it's a very difficult task, and the Russian community is walking a tightrope, just the same as Israel is walking a tightrope between the Russian Federation and Ukraine.
Right, Pierre, certainly history and present converging in a very interesting way here with this event. Pierre Clochendler in Jerusalem on Mount Herzl at the ceremony. Thank you very much for that report.